Hello, welcome to Reely Rated, the movie review podcast, and I'm your host, Mitchell Stevens.
And I'm his co-host, Jess Andrews.
And today we're doing a ooky spooky episode. Ooh. Yes. We did Halloween 1, now we're doing Halloween Ends. Ooh.
When did we do Halloween?
We did the original Halloween.
The original
Halloween. The original one. And we were quite controversial with it.
The original.
No, we were quite controversial with it. We were like, it's okay, but it's a bit dated now.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's a bit frustrating.
And those kids are annoying.
But you know what? I feel like Laurie has redeemed herself in this one, so I'm happy now. I can sleep easy now.
Before we start, I think we should explain to the audience why we're doing Halloween Ends. And we haven't done any of the other trilogy.
Yeah, well, because the first one is blah, the second one is
Yeah.
And this one's all right. No, I will never podcast about Halloween Kills because I feel like it will just be me flying into a rage.
I read somewhere. So like basically, the director, what's his name? Something Green. Basically, he set out to make the sequels different. So basically, the second film he wanted to do an action film, and then for this last film he wanted to make it a love story.
Well, he did that, didn't he?
He definitely did.
Kind of. Well, kind of. I mean,
well,
I don't know how successful it was.
But the second one definitely is an action film because there was so much going on. But yeah, so basically we're talking about the last film in the trilogy or the quadrilogy if you include the first original, because it's such a different type of film than the others that I just thought it'd be very interesting to talk about it and to rip it apart because and dissect it.
To put it into the grinder, so to speak.
Yes. Because it's so unlike the other ones, and when I watched it in the cinema, I came out of it going like, I can't decide if I liked it or I didn't like it, and it was one of those films.
Yeah, I had a similar reaction because, as you know, I love anything to do with romance. Like, if it's got a love story, I think it makes it 10 times better, usually. I am not sure, same as you. When I came out of the cinema, I was a bit like, that was new and quite refreshing. You know, it wasn't like every other kind of slasher remake that you see. It was quite, quite novel. But actually, and I remember kind of thinking, like, being quite excited to podcast about it because I was thinking, like, I actually remember being quite intrigued by it. Like, it was something new.
Yeah.
Which is uncommon at the moment. But I will be honest that on rewatch, I'm not sure the romantic element made any sense to the story or was even compelling.
So before we start dissecting the film, for people that haven't seen it, basically the last film of the trilogy of Halloween, it takes place 5 years later from the second one. And we follow a new protagonist, which is Corey Campbell. Cunningham. Is it Cunningham?
Yeah, the actor is
Rohan Campbell. Yeah.
And the character is Corey Cunningham.
That's it, Corey Cunningham, that's it.
Cunnilingus.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And he's wholly introduced in this sequel. Like he hasn't been in the other two. He's a totally new character, and we basically follow his descent into madness, really. And he has a run-in with Michael, which we'll definitely talk about. And something happens to him, and he starts becoming like a psychopath, really. So if you haven't seen it, I do actually. It's one of those films that I do think that if you haven't seen the other sequels, or have you at least seen the first one, like the first original, go find it and watch it because I think it's a very interesting watch. But so yeah, go watch it. This is the end of the spoiler zone. Come back and you can listen to how we feel about it. So like, end of spoilers. The spoilers are gonna happen now. So. This is a new thing we're trying to be more user-friendly to people that might not have watched the film.
Rather than just blurting everything
Yeah.
out.
He dies in the end.
But we do like to keep it real.
Yeah. So like, I think the first thing I want to do is jump into the opening, because I really, really like the opening with what happens to Corey and that annoying kid.
Yes, me too. That's the best part of the film, in my opinion.
We see Corey arrive at this really posh house, and with like quite well-to-do parents of this really bratty kid. And there's moments in the film when it's just him and the little kid. Sorry, not the film. In the opening, when it's just him and the little kid, that you really, really think that, oh no, Corey's going to be the first kill of the film, like, because he's the babysitter. Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, because when I was first watching it, I was thinking, oh my God, he's going to die. Like, but then I turned to Steve and I went, but this is quite refreshing that it's a male character.
Yeah, because you don't really see that. I think a few times you kind of get the boyfriend characters, don't you, that kind of come in and get offed.
Yeah.
But it's mostly about the kind of the female, what do they call it in school, in uni? Something about female aside. I can't remember what it's called, but horror films are renowned, aren't they, for killing off females. It's a very it's not misogynistic, but it's a well-known genre trait.
Yeah.
That the women get slaughtered, and there's all sorts of theories behind why. So you don't get a huge emphasis on male murder in slashers, because it's just not kind of genre typical. I don't know. I feel like in the remakes, in the new trilogy, there are quite a lot of male kills actually.
Yeah.
Compared to past, I think it is kind of progressing in that way. But I was the same. I was thinking, oh God, he's gonna bite it, like poor Corey. And there are some moments of really good tension where there's homage to the original, and you are sort of getting that kind of dread feeling, which you don't, a lot of the time it's just jump scares, isn't it? Especially in opening scenes of slasher films at the moment. And I thought the fact that it was so quiet and he was just kind of going around, he could not find, was his name Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy, yeah.
Little boy, Jeremy, Jezza. And it was quite like when it was the reveal, spoilers, that Jeremy was actually the one like fucking with him. It was quite like, oh shit. And I almost wondered if it was like, oh, I wonder if he's going to be like the new Micheal Myers, because like in the original he's like 8 years old, isn't he? Or 10 years old,
that's such a good point. Yeah,
right. And I was thinking, ooh, like this is a bit, but I wasn't expecting him to bite it.
No.
And when he did, it was great gore. I love, like, they don't shy away from the gore in this one, do they? Like, I don't remember it being as gory, but there were a lot of very gory moments where I was like, oh Jesus, to kind of balance out the romance, I guess.
Yeah.
And also you don't see a lot of dead children in films, do you? And
no.
Normally I am actually quite staunchly against seeing stuff like that. Like, I literally watched the beginning of The Witcher, and I think one of the first episodes is a dead baby, and I was like, nope, not for me. Don't want to watch that. But I thought it was quite effective in this. I thought like, oh, okay, that's an interesting spin. And I did like the fact that you immediately felt sorry for Corey, because none of it was his fault. He was just trying to do his best and just completely got the blame.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole film, you just felt like, even when he was, becoming, like I said, a psychopath, you still was thinking, oh, I just feel sorry for, like, he was on the road to a good life. And then that happened to him, and now everything's gone down the pan. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, like, I think because I'm with you on like child deaths, like kids dying and that sort of thing. I just don't like seeing it, like it, because I think it's
not fun, is it, to watch?
No,
like, I'm not saying it's fun to see women die. Like, I'm not saying that at all. But like, there's an element of like the catharsis, right, of the slasher film.
Yeah.
Like when you watch Saw, it's interesting and it makes you curious to see, oh, how are they going to kill them off? Oh wow, that's a gnarly way to die, ha ha, sort of thing. But when it's a child, there's something really icky about it. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right, does it?
No,
They're innocent, I guess.
Yeah,
normally.
like even though they're like
Not Jeremy.
not
but...
Jeremy. He's not so innocent.
He had it coming.
Yeah. But like, I think it's almost like watching an episode of like Casualty or something. The way he dies, it's just like, oops, he went over the railing.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's an interesting one because on the one hand, not even as a parent, but just as an adult, one of the most horrific things you can think of is to walk into your house and suddenly, bam, your child dies right in front of you, especially if it's your child, that is horrific.
Yeah.
But I think because of the way it happens and the sound effects and the fact that he's a little asshole, it kind of, you kind of go, oh, Jesus, haha. Like, it's shocking. It's kind of, what's the word? Like shock horror, like exploitation. And it was interesting because the mum character, like you said, it comes across really well to do in the beginning. Like, I don't know if it's because of the way she's dressed or the fact that the house looks a bit posh from the entrance hall and stuff, but she has that kind of upper class mum, like, ooh, ha, ha, thing. And when tragedy strikes, it's always kind of funny, just not funny, but it's always played for laughs, isn't it? When very rich people kind of come under bad circumstances, like at the beginning of The Lost World.
Yeah.
You've got this posh family, and then the little girl gets chomped by the compies and that, and then the mum's like, ooh, I don't know, whatever her name is, Matilda, whatever, like, where are you?
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, there's an element always, I think, of, it's the punching up thing.
Yeah, it's like,
we find it funny to see. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's like they're at arm's reach, like, because they're not like us. So it's like,
yes, you can't relate, so it's funnier.
Yeah,
if you see it in yourself, it's not funny.
Yeah, that's why the kills in like bodies feel.
Yes.
Because they're the upper class nepo babies, apart from the, like, main
almost like caricatures rather than people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the opening. It's almost like a cold open, really.
Yeah.
In a way.
It is.
Then we skip ahead, I think, 2 years, and Corey is working with his stepdad at the, like, what do you call it? Like an impound or whatever, like a crushing site, cars. I don't know what you call it. Is it called the impound or the? You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, but like
scrapyard.
Scrapyard. That's it. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Scrapyard. And his life's gone complete shit. He's not going to go to college anymore, and he's like a bit of a waste, not a waster, but just not happy, and he's a social pariah and all this. Then we catch up with Laurie and Alison, obviously still sort of like dealing with the death of God, what was the mum's name? Judy Greer.
Yeah. Karen, that's it.
Her name.
Karen.
Yeah. Karen. And the dad. He doesn't have a name.
He doesn't have a name.
It's interesting because you don't actually get a lot of insight into their situation at all. It's quite glossed over. I think they have one scene where they sort of, Laurie gives Alison the wedding rings, and they sort of, oh, isn't it terrible that your parents are dead? But it's not. It doesn't seem massively in depth, and also Laurie's in this like vibe of, oh, I'm not scared anymore. I'm just he hasn't been found, but I'm just gonna not lock my doors and just see what happens. Yeah. And it feels very. I understand that it's trying to be a bit of a contrast to what she's like in the first remake of Halloween.
Yeah.
But I also kind of think, if your daughter's been murdered by Micheal Myers, and the rampage has happened, you would not be like, it's all fine, I forgive him. You know what I mean? It's a bit strange. I'm not sure I don't know.
On a rewatch, it's almost like when I was rewatching it the other day, I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it have been more interesting if we had followed Alison? So like we have this cold opening of Corey, but I would like to have seen the love story just from her point of view solely. Like, for instance, she pops into him, like the first time we see Corey again is at the bar, because we've known Alison from the first sequel. So it would have been nice to follow her onwards.
I'm just not sure I buy the love story. It's all very like we've met and then we went on one date and now we're in love. I don't know. I didn't buy it. It's all very overdramatic and
Yeah.
you know, oh, I killed someone after like on like the second date. Oh, it's okay. I'll do anything for you.
Yeah.
Like, what?
See, when I
you don't even know him.
I definitely bought into the romance in the first watching of it, like the first viewing. I was because I really liked Corey.
Cinema.
Yeah, in the cinema. When I was watching it, I was going, oh, it's very, like Bonnie and Clyde, which is like funny because that's what they're dressed up as in the first film. But like, and it's very much kind of like, oh, she's falling for the bad boy, and like, isn't that quite? Well, he's not a bad boy to begin with. He's just a lost soul. But
yeah.
But he becomes the bad boy. But like watching it the other day, I was just thinking, I just kept thinking to myself, you've only just met, and now you're on the back of his motorcycle, and you're like,
and you want to run away with him, and it's been like 3 days, if that.
Yeah. But then her other choice in men is not very good either, because like, that cop that is after her, and I'm like,
I think they've just fallen into the trap, which is like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's admirable that they tried to put so many plot lines in, but I think it did that thing of, you can't cram 3 people's stories into one film.
Yeah.
Not in the way they did it. Like, I would have been happy to see just what Laurie goes through. I'd be happy to see her and the cop. What's his name?
Oh, Hawkins. Officer Hawkins.
Yeah, Will Patton. I would have been happy to see just like a story kind of just about, Corey. And then you got the Micheal Myers aspect as well, which we'll get into. But I just think there was so much going on, and you didn't really get a lot of insight into what was going on with Laurie, what was going on with Alison. It was all just like very like surface level. The only person you really got to spend time with properly is Corey, and he's a new character, and even his relationships are kind of not really developed. I don't know. Like, I thought the thing with his mum was really interesting. I would have liked to have seen what his mum was like before the accident.
Yeah, it's like
I thought that would have been interesting.
Yeah, like I'm finding it really hard to like come to terms with how much I liked Corey when I first watched the film versus watching it back, because you do see like the flaws, because I really, really enjoyed Corey's story when I first watched it. Like I enjoyed the downfall of him. I found his mum super annoying, like you're meant to. Whereas this time around, like you said, like it would have been interesting to see what she was like before the accident, because this time around you really are kind of like, well, she is a little bit like the way she is. If she's, she's very like protective of him. It's like, well, that's understandable given that, he's gone through such a trauma. And then the whole town has turned against them.
Yeah, it would drive anyone mad.
Yeah.
I'm not like defending the way she was. Like, she's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like it's almost quite reflective of real life, in that when you first meet someone, it's all like the honeymoon period, and when you first watch it, you're like, oh, Corey, you're rooting for him, it's all great. And then like you watch it again, you go on that second date with the film, and you're like, actually, quite annoying. I don't like the way he chews. And he's not, I don't know, I think that you sympathise with him because of the opening. I feel like if you didn't have that opening, it would be complete. I think it was such a good idea to have the opening included, not cut, because without that, I think it would have been a huge flop, more than it was.
Yeah.
Like, no one would be connecting with his character. They'd just be like, he's just a weirdo. What's going on with Alison? Like, and again, like, Laurie's, like, friends with him 1 second, and then, like, in a flip, suddenly she's not.
Oh, that, yeah.
And it's before he even gets infected.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
That, yeah.
So it's a bit like, I
that
don't
didn't work.
understand what the dynamics are meant to be.
No, that didn't work for me.
Between her and him.
No.
Yeah. I want to know what you think about the whole sewer scene.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
The first one.
Because
let's talk about it.
Because for me, at that point, right, like getting to that point, the pacing was so bad because we've spent so much time with Corey up until that point that if you aren't invested in him, you've lost the audience already. Like, they're bored. So when you get to that scene and it's like Michael and Corey and they're coming face to face, you think to yourself, it's a little bit ho-hum if you're not with Corey on this. But the biggest question is, for me, Jess, is do you think he becomes infected like with evil? Or do you think he's just so traumatized by this like meeting with like Micheal Myers that he just becomes a psychopath?
I think that what they are trying to say is that he's been infected with the evil.
Yeah.
I think that is what they were trying to go for, but I am not sure that it works. Because everything points to that. Like, oh, he was fine before, and and then he like looks into his eyes and suddenly he's now infected with the evil. I think a lot of it, really, if I'm being honest, is that they wanted to make another Halloween film, but they had to skip ahead in time so that Laurie would be like older and have a daughter and blah, blah, blah. But they also realised that, well, if Laurie's like in her 60s, Michael's going to be in his 80s. Or at least late 70s.
Yeah.
So you can't feasibly have a whole film with like a 80-year-old man, running around causing all the mischief that someone of Corey's age would be able to. So that's why they went, you know what, let's just have him infect a young person and then he can go off and do all the rest. And then they can like work together. But it doesn't make any sense because they why would Michael want to work with him? And then they go on like separate, because Corey acts alone for most of it, doesn't he?
Yeah, and like
he goes like kills the doctor and the nurse and blah, blah, blah. So Michael's not really even in it that much.
No.
So that's what I mean about like, I'd rather watch a film just about Corey or just about Michael, just about Laurie, whatever. Like, it's not really about Michael. They've made it about Michael and saying, oh yes, it's Michael's evil that's infected Corey, but it doesn't really work.
No, and it annoys me because like the other metaphor in the film, which is about the kind of like the evil of Michael has basically infected the entire town. For me, that works so much more like well than the actual, oh, Michael has infected Corey. Because the way that he's treated by everyone, it would have been feasible for him to turn into this psychopath anyway. And
because that would have been really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't evil, but he was turned that way because of the infection. That would have been really interesting.
But instead we get, like you said, Michael infecting him like one-on-one, which like I agree, I think that's what they're going for. With the evil, and he becomes the new shape sort of thing.
Evil dies tonight.
Why didn't
you just can't take it seriously, can you?
No.
Did you notice they dropped that though? They dropped that whole slogan for this one.
Yeah, but why? But at
everyone
the end,
was screaming it.
But at the end, they should have had that. Like,
yeah, I thought, like, I literally thought when I was in the cinema, I even remember thinking when they go like to the scrapyard at the end that they were all going to start chanting it.
Yeah,
but they never. It's the way that it was all so like cartoony. Evil dies tonight. But you know what though? That is actually the one thing about the whole Halloween franchise that I find really cringy. It's all like evil. He was even in the original. It's like in his eyes there is nothing but evil. It's all a bit like campy for me, but I think they tried to over-explain it in the Rob Zombie ones, but it's a bit what's the word? It's a bit heavy-handed.
Yeah,
word.
But
it's
like
heavy-handed.
There's just so many. The thing is though, if you think of like Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends, there's so many dropped threads that are like dangling there that they don't tie up either. Just because, but they get away with it by saying, "Oh, it's a time jump." So like like for instance, the Doctor in the first film, like the first remake sequel.
One that lets him free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why did he have
Doesn't he die? Doesn't he get like his eyes I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, he does. He gets stomped.
Doesn't Michael kill him?
Yeah, he gets stomped on his head. But like,
that's right.
But like, why? Like, you know, there's no explanation as to why he did what he did, and like, you know, like,
because the screenplay says so.
Yeah, it's just there's so many fan theories out there that was so much more satisfying than what they actually gave us. Like, because they said that he's part of a cult or something, you know, like that sort of thing.
The cult of evil.
Yeah, the cult of evil that was like trying to, I don't know, but like, and then what else? I feel like Karen's death is not impactful enough.
That's what I mean. Like, when you first get in there, it's like there's no knock-on effect. Like, there's not even any sort of like conflict between, like, you'd think, wouldn't you? Okay, let's just say Laurie's decided to go all hipster and she's all like hippie and be like, I'm not going to lock my door, I'm not afraid. They could have even played with that and said, like, you know, Alison's going, no, we should be afraid. My mum's dead.
I mean,
like, there was none of that. They just didn't even talk about it. It was just like, whatever. We'll move on.
I mean, I don't want to compare it too much to like other remakes and that sort of thing. But like, say what you want about the Rob Zombie remakes, but at least the second film shows a lot more of like a reaction to what happens in the first one, given with the, like, for instance, like Laurie's in bloody therapy in the second film, and she's like, her friend Annie is like a recluse in her home and that sort of thing. Like, there's none of that in this.
I don't know if I'm just being like stupid, but all the way through they keep saying, like, blaming Laurie, going like, you tormented him, you teased him, you lured him out, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And what did I miss? Because I don't remember her doing anything like that.
Do you know what?
Did I miss something? Have I just
No.
remembering the first two films?
I think they got a little bit too meta on that, because in the first film,
that's when she's like in the ranch, isn't it? And she's like,
yeah,
she's like booby trapped her whole house and stuff.
The whole point of that first film is the fact that you've got Karen, you've got Alison's dad, which I think his name's Doug.
No, the policeman's called Doug.
Yeah, so like, you've got the mum and dad sort of saying to Alison that, you know, she just hasn't let go. She's repressing all these emotions and stuff, and like, rather than dealing with them, and that's the whole sort of thing. And the whole point of the first film is that
not to live in fear.
Well, yeah, and also the twist is that Michael wasn't never coming for her. It's just that the doctor put Michael in the same location as her.
That's right.
And that's the whole thing. Like, you know, she thinks she's so
right.
special because he's coming after her, but the whole thing is that he wasn't. So in the second one and the third one, when they try and make it about, like, you know, it's the showdown between Laurie and Michael, it's kind of like, well, no, because he was never going for her anyway. It's just that she happened to be there, like, which I really liked about the first one, that it made her less special. Like, she just was a babysitter back in the day that he couldn't kill.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a lot scarier when, because you know, when they were like, oh yes, she's his sister, and,
yeah,
and they're making up all these, and there's always theories,
yeah,
which makes him more human. Like, oh, he's got motive. It's kind of like in Jaws: The Revenge, when they make the Jaws, where they make the shark go after the family.
Yeah,
and it's like, that's not. The scary thing is when something's coming for you and you don't know why, and you can't rationalize with it.
Yeah,
like, the reason that he's scary in the first one is because he's this, like, emotionless, like, not even a man, just, you know, evil personified. You know, like,
yeah.
There's no thought really to what he's doing. He's just doing it because that's what he does, and there's no escape from it, and you can't reason with him about it, and you can't, you know, bargain with him. So when they start giving them motive and going, oh, they're doing it because this, oh, he's chasing her because this, it's less scary.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that they made it more like, no, he's just basically an animal and he just kills whatever is in his path.
Because so like, if I'm meant to believe that, you know, given the events of the first film and the events of Kills, that Michael has become obsessed with Laurie, even though the first film doesn't in any way support that.
Corroborate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say he does become obsessed with her. Then it's a really big coincidence that the other person that he infects is not only dating his
her granddaughter.
daughter.
He likes to keep it in the family.
Yeah. He's not only dating his granddaughter, but then gets a massive boner for Laurie himself.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not, because I know that because it's meant to be, like you said, it's a quadrilogy, isn't it? Like, it's meant to be like the first film, and then you forget everything else until the remakes, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Halloween 2021 or whatever it was, and then the other two.
Yeah.
But I'm not really that familiar with the rest of the franchise, but I don't know, like, all of the lore, so I don't know if there's stuff that I'm just missing when I watch it, if that makes sense. Like, if there's context that I'm missing. Because to me, it's all kind of like, I don't understand, like, what they're talking about when they say, oh, you brought this on the town, you did this, you did that. And it's a bit like, no, she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I didn't know what I was missing.
Yeah, no, that's why I think the filmmakers got a bit too meta with that, because I think, like, for instance, your audience has been told in the first film that Laurie's not important. So for them to then turn around and have the town blame her, it's kind of like you're sending mixed messages, because, like, it's like almost like if they're forgetting what they told us in the first film. So, like, we're going to be actively confused because you've told us one
Unless
thing.
That's the point.
Oh, maybe, but
like, because you know how they keep going like, oh, the whole town's been infected with, it's not been the same since Michael came, blah blah blah. So I'm wondering if maybe the point is that they're blaming her, but they don't actually have any real like backing to that, you know.
yeah.
They're just angry and they just want someone to blame. But then they start kind of using examples of, oh, you what is it they said? Like, you tormented a mentally disabled man or something. What was it they said?
Yeah, one of them says that, like, you know, he
Remember?
was mentally disabled and not mentally disabled. He was
And you did something.
Yeah, you taunted him. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
You brought this on us.
yeah.
And I was a bit like, I don't really understand how that works, but I think do you know what though? The second one was such a massive clusterfuck. Like, I literally remember just watching it the whole time with this look on my face, like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
it was absolutely bizarre, wasn't it?
Do you know what? I've got no evidence to back this. I've got no evidence to back this up, but I do think because basically they were meant to film the first, second, and third back to back. And I do think the third film was meant to carry on from that night.
You reckon?
Yes, because the pandemic happened in between. And so I think they had such a big gap and they could gauge how badly the people reacted to the second one. And so they thought, right, let's rewrite this and not have a third film set on the same night. Whereas I think it would have been more successful to have it set on the same night.
I do like that it's different, though. I do like that this one's different. Like, I even though I don't think the romance works, and there's a lot of elements in it that don't work, I like that they tried something different. Like, that is something. And I think if they'd maybe just done a few more rewrites, made the characters a bit more, like, made the romance more believable, or I don't know, cut down on a few other elements so they could have more time for Corey and Alison or whatever, it would have been more effective. Because to me, it just felt like everything was so crammed in. You didn't really get a sense of if it was meant to be more about the romance, more about the drama between the characters, then they should have focused in on that rather than trying to do everything.
Yeah.
I think.
Like, I question whether Michael even needs to be in it.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's literally what I mean. Like, it could have been literally just, it was just Corey, and then, you know, there's a reveal that Michael died years ago.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's going, oh, it's Michael, and it was not Michael.
No.
It was just Corey. It was just Corey pushed to the edge from the people in the town that are paranoid. That would have been so much better.
I just think they wanted that ending, didn't they? Where like they had all the town and they see his body, and they just wanted to have that satisfying ending sort of thing.
I do think it's funny when people get stabbed in the neck. Well, I mean, not like in real life, but but like I do think it's funny in film when people get stabbed in the neck and they're like bleeding out all over the floor, and they're like, "Oh, I'm dead," and then 2 seconds later they're like, "Oh, I'm alive again."
Yeah.
And it's like, you literally I just watched you, like there's no more blood left in your body. How are you having another conversation?
Talking about the ending.
You do it like twice.
Yeah, talking about the ending, I have to, because this is the only bit of research I did do, was that there was like different endings that they actually did film.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to go through them. Yeah, so I'm going to go through them. So they stuck with the ending that they chose because, is it Gordon something Green? Wanted a satisfying, optimistic and hopeful conclusion after Halloween Kills' bleak ending.
Yeah.
So they wanted to show, which is fair enough. They wanted to show, like, you know, the town get, you know, healing and killing the evil.
The evil.
But the original ending, they was gonna have Michael and Laurie having a final battle in a mask factory that produced his iconic mask. But then
No, that wouldn't have worked.
the director thought it was too meta.
I think that's really overkill.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Especially because, like, it's not... Like, in Scream, it's like they make movies out of it, so it becomes pop culture inside the film. And anyway, Scream is meant to be meta anyway, so that does kind of work. That would work.
Yeah.
Like, if you set a battle between Ghostface and Sydney inside a thing with all the... Well, I mean, there is a couple of scenes like that, isn't there, in Scream 3 and stuff, where you have all the props and things. So I think with something like that works. But Halloween, like, inside the diegesis of Halloween, they don't glorify Michael.
No.
They're not wearing his effigy as a Halloween costume, are they? They're afraid of him.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would work at all.
No.
There wouldn't be a factory making masks of his, would there?
No. So this other ending,
So it
no,
doesn't
I
make
agree with
sense.
you.
Mm.
This other ending, it brings up a point that I wanted to discuss anyway. So, like, basically, another ending was a dark ending where Laurie commits suicide.
Well, they started filming that.
And no, exactly, no, because because that
I quite like that bit.
See, I didn't, because I didn't think it worked for me.
No.
Oh, because it I don't know, because you know when she turns around and goes, "You think I'd kill myself?" And then
Yeah, that was heavy-handed.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get enough Laurie's take though from the film, so for me to make that ending work.
That's what I mean. That's literally what I'm saying though, is that, like, you don't get enough of her character development in it. All you see is like a couple of scenes of her going, "Oh, I don't like my granddaughter's boyfriend." Like, you don't really see any kind of indication that she's having suicidal thoughts.
No.
So when she is like, "Oh, I'm reported suicide," you are thinking, "I don't get it. Like, why are you suddenly now saying you're going to kill yourself?" That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I did like the implication that she almost was like 2 steps ahead of Corey, and that she knew he would kill himself.
Yes.
Like, because, you know, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to report a suicide." Right?
Yeah.
So that when the police come and he's stabbed himself, that's like, "Oh, that was a suicide I meant," right? But I don't know how she would, like, are we to believe that it's a coincidence, or are we to believe that she's that smart that she knew what would happen?
Yeah.
Because I don't think she could know that was going to happen.
No. I don't know, but I mean, they're obviously trying to go for a Romeo and Juliet like ending, which doesn't work. But I do like his suicide in that it shows the degrading of his mind throughout the entire film. Maybe it was too quick. Maybe they needed to be stretched out a little bit. But anyway, the other ending. There's two more endings. The other ending is has Corey surviving, getting away with the murders, and him and Alison hit the road in a kind of Natural Born Killers type ending.
Right.
Now that wouldn't have worked because, like we've been saying, because the love story doesn't really work.
I don't think like you're rooting for them in the end, are you?
No, and I think that's the problem. And then what's the last one? Oh yeah, and the last one, which I quite like, but only because it means there could be more sequels, that he becomes the successor to Micheal Myers.
I did wonder if they were going to do like an homage at the end where like, oh, he's gone. Where did he go?
Yeah.
Like Michael. I don't know. Him stabbing himself, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if it's meant to be implied that he knew that, like, it would ruin Laurie and Alison's relationship if she came home and found Laurie, like, thinking she'd stabbed Corey.
I think that is the implication.
Like, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's a bit of a stretch because, number one, like, he doesn't know that's going to be her assumption. Number two, I don't really understand why he would have the motive to split them apart.
Yeah.
Like, there's no animosity that we see of him and Laurie, really. He's got no motive not to like Laurie. He just wants to be with Alice. I don't know. I find it all a bit of a stretch. All of it, like the whole climax was just a stretch. Just a lot of what do they call it? Plot armor or whatever. You know, when they're like the screenwriter is like writing in circles, like trying to justify everything that happens.
I almost like, so when we eventually do get to some killing, so like the doctor dies first and his fling dies as well. Mm-hmm. And like we see that Corey is not experienced in killing, so it's very messy. And like, he lets one of them go by accident. She escapes, and then Michael is the one that finishes off the.
Yeah, that's right.
If they had done a couple more of them, like the sort of kind of like they're working together, you almost could have had a story for Halloween that worked if you. Like you had someone like you had Michael sort of acknowledging that this other guy had this like evil inside him, and he becomes a sort of mentor type figure, like in a way only Michael can, without without talking and that sort of thing.
Well, that's my point. Is it doesn't work because he's not meant to be a person that has plots and schemes.
Yeah, true.
He'll be a mentor. Like, that would work if it was
Scream.
Another character. If it was Scream or Nightmare on Elm Street or something.
Yeah.
That would totally be fine. But I think when you're talking about Halloween, the whole point of it is that he's not like that. So adding in a character, like, it's interesting because it's sort of like, okay, well then we've got Corey, who is human, has emotions and, has relationships. And he's doing this. As opposed to Michael, who is nothing but just like a evil, like monster, like a shape.
Yeah.
It could have been an interesting sort of like comparison between the two. But I think because it is so ambiguous between like when he just grabs him and suddenly now he's evil, like he's looked into his soul and he sees that he's evil, blah blah blah, and it's a bit like, well, number one, Corey wasn't evil to begin with, so it's not like he's unlocked this thing inside of Corey that he's always wanted to come out. Well, he wasn't before. I don't know, it doesn't work for me. I like the idea of like, oh yeah, this new guy kind of because he's obviously more able
Yeah.
to go and do the stuff that an 80-year-old man can't do. But then they do kind of, like, even though he is old, he's still fighting like crazy and overpowering Laurie at the end, and it's I don't know. I just don't think it works. Flogging a dead horse.
It's almost like they jumped to a sequel too quick. Like it's almost like they should have given us the third one where it's all from Laurie's point of view. Alison's gone off. She's left town like she should. Like, why would you stay? Why would you stay in a town where your mum and dad has just been murdered?
I mean, you think that about a lot of things, don't you? It's like,
yeah,
why stay in Woodsboro? Why stay in Haddonfield? Like, leave.
Yeah, but like, it should have been like, because like the conceit of which I love because it's so much of a Scream 4 copycat. Like, when she's writing her memoirs.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got like you got Gail in the fourth Scream film that can't write her next book. But anyway, that conceit of that, what's the word? Staging like of the plot. It's almost like it should be set up the fact that we should follow Laurie throughout the entire film and just Laurie, because you could have had just the town, which is you could have had the whole kind of like the town being metaphorically sort of infected with evil and that sort of thing, and you could have had the people sort of blaming her throughout the entire film, but it could slowly start regressing. She could slowly start regressing back to where she was in the first film.
Right, exactly, like getting really paranoid.
Yeah.
Like everyone else in the town. And then it turns out, like I say, like how cool would it be? Like if it was like, no, Michael's been dead for, they found his corpse, I don't know, whatever, skeleton or evidence that he's gone. And then it's like, no, he's been gone. You've been afraid of no one for decades. This is just some creep who wanted to be a copycat or is just mad like Michael was, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Rather than this whole, I don't know. Like I say, I do like the romance aspect. Like I've started to write a couple of that kind of vein of genre like a few times. Never finished any, but I like that. I think that's really intriguing to kind of have like romance and horror in the same film. But it has to feel genuine, because with horror, you don't necessarily need to relate to the feelings, like the relationships of the characters, in order to be scared. Because fear is a primal, like, if you see any character in a scary situation, you put yourself in there and you go, oh my god, I'd be terrified to be locked in a closet with a killer with a knife coming at me.
Yeah.
But with romance, I think it's such a different ball game, because you have to actually be sold on it. You have to believe that those characters are like have a good relationship or have a budding relationship. So the believability factor comes into it, where I'm going, okay, I can totally buy that, a guy goes mad and kills everyone and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not buying that Corey and Alison meet once and suddenly they're in love and want to run away together and burn the town down. Like, it just doesn't.
No, they don't.
Doesn't compute for me.
They don't even have
different things.
No, they don't even have a good meet cute either. Like, it's just literally.
No, that's what I mean.
Literally they just his grandmother just brings him to the house.
He cuts his hand.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's not a compelling, like she doesn't like save him from the bullies, from the bang geeks.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't, like, it just seems very like I feel like they could have done a film about not a romance, but they could have done a film about him and Laurie. Like Laurie could be like, oh, I know what it's like to be an outcast. I'll take you under my wing and you can stay with us and and then he starts to go mad and all this. Like, that could have worked. I don't know. It is interesting though what you said, because I agree. The first time I watched it, I was more compelled, but maybe it was more just of a, oh wow, this is a new shiny thing, and now I'm a bit like jaded.
Yeah, I think the first time you watch it is like you're so shocked that like they're doing something different, and it's so new that you're kind of like, okay, I'm willing to go with it. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I like on a rewatch, the love story just doesn't work. Like they're
No, I will tell you though, something that does. I really did like, even for as much as I whinge about, if you're an 80-year-old man, you shouldn't be able to be throwing people across the room and stuff.
yeah,
But I really did enjoy their final battle.
yeah,
I thought that was really really tense. Like, even though I wasn't like, like I was watching it and I was feeling a bit sad, to be honest. I was sort of thinking, oh, I remember loving this so much more than I actually do, and just feeling a bit rubbish and like, oh, I'm sad because I'm going to be podcasting about this, and just feeling like meh about it. Which I know I have kind of done, but I do remember like in the final scene, I was like, oh yes, I was like pumped. I was like, come on, Laurie, here we go. Like, you did really want her to succeed, and that's the problem. She's the protagonist. She's the core of the whole franchise.
yeah,
and in my opinion, that is why the first one. Well, I mean, sorry, the first one, the one where she's at the ranch, with all the booby traps and stuff. That works because it's about her. Halloween Kills doesn't work because it's about a mob and she's in it for about 5 minutes, sat in a hospital bed doing nothing.
yeah.
And in this one, it doesn't work because she's just there going, oh, I don't like my granddaughter's boyfriend. End of. Like, It doesn't work because you're not invested in her, and she's the backbone. If you were watching Scream and Sydney wasn't in it, you'd be like, eh. Like, you have to have a compelling protagonist, final girl, whatever. And so I think that, like, because they ended it on with Laurie and with the final battle with her, Alison's not there, Corey's not there. Like, it's just her and Michael. It's suddenly like, here we go, back on track.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it again now.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for killing off the bloody, Romeo and Juliet aspect. I want to watch the carnage. I want Macbeth. I don't want Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, it's just almost like I fundamentally think, even though even though the directors and producers and all that will say no, that's never what we intended. I think they intended the third one to be set in the same night, because you just killed Karen.
It's random, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
like, it's random, this whole thing.
You just killed Karen, and it seems like the motivation there for her to then go hunt him again is there. It's going to be her, right? You just killed my daughter. I'm coming for your blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think they did this film a bit one film too early. Like, if it had been like a carry on from, like, let's introduce a new, because like we said, we really enjoyed the beginning. Like, it's really kind of novel and like interesting and original to have like a different sort of like tragedy happen on Halloween. It was interesting, but like the rest of it just doesn't work with, like, you're introducing a whole new character. You've got to give us his motivation and like make us like, fall in love with him and that sort of thing. And then to watch him like get infected, and it just sounds so silly when you talk about it.
Yeah. The thing is, right, is that it's such a shame to me because it's such a waste of potential of really good drama. Like, you're right. Imagine if they'd carried on from the second film, right, and then Laurie is going on an absolute self-sabotaging rampage, right, and Alison's there going, you're acting like you've got nothing else to lose now, but you still got me. Like, you are ruining yourself.
Yeah.
Like, think about me, sort of thing. And you could have that whole dynamic and that whole drama, and it's just like, actually, we're skipping ahead a couple of years, and here's this new guy, and there's going to be a romance, and Laurie's kind of a back character. Like, the policeman, like, he's in 2 scenes.
Yeah, and
what's the point of him even being there?
And what's terrible about that?
Sense.
Yeah, and what's terrible about that is that in this second one, so Halloween Kills, you see the original film from his point of view. The second one, he gets such a big
like
part.
Main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets nothing.
And then he's just there just to play like lip service, whatever they call it. And like, oh, but the cherry blossoms and all. Yeah, fine, absolutely fine. But because we haven't been concentrating on Laurie the whole time, I'm not that invested in her arc and what she's going to do with the police chief.
No.
It just doesn't. There's just, as usual, there's just too much going on, and Hollywood's got a horrendous habit of trying to squeeze in as many plot lines and characters as they can without just concentrating on the meat of it.
Yeah, for me, it's Spider-Man 3 all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I mean, but I will say the kills, I mean, some of the kills are really good.
Yeah. So before we go, we need to come up with a consensus on, like, is it overrated, underrated, or just rated?
I would have said when I first watched it, it was underrated. But I think probably just rated now. So it can't be overrated because nobody seems to like it that much.
No, I think the consensus of the reviews was that it, like we've been talking about, it tries to do too much with too little. So yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty rated, but I am disappointed because I was really looking forward to watching it back, and like, because I remember enjoying it so much in the cinema.
Yeah.
So the fact that like I'm a little bit like meh,
because it was new and shiny.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. But anyway, moving on. So next month it will be November, and we were gonna do a classic film. I suppose we still are doing a classic film.
What film are we doing?
Oh, we're doing Snow White.
Oh, right, the one that I started, and then you said it wasn't the one we were doing.
Which one did you start?
Do you remember the other day I thought we were doing Snow
Yeah,
White
yeah.
this month?
Yeah.
So I started watching it and making notes, and you were like, why are you watching that? And I was like, we're doing it next month. And you were like, no, we're not. I just really like to swat up early. That's what it is. Just to clarify, we're doing the original, not the remake, because don't watch that, everyone. Yeah, I haven't watched it properly in a long time, and my daughter likes watching it, and I feel like it is probably the least. It is obviously revered, but it's underrated. I think in terms of like when people, like I say, when you ask most people, "Oh, what's your favorite Disney film, Disney princess?" Not many people say Snow White. She's kind of like the uncool one to like,
yeah,
isn't she? And people have a lot of opinions on, oh, she's regressive, and oh, all she wants to do is cook and clean and blah blah blah. So I feel like we need to defend all Snowy.
Well, that's all I do. Cook and clean, it feels like.
Yeah, but do you whistle while you work?
No, I float around in a dress going la la la.
And then Steve's there like grumpy.
Yeah.
And then.
Okay, yeah. So remember to watch Snow White for next time.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
and obviously you can see that on Disney Plus.
Exactly. I was just about to say, like,
Most
obviously.
people have Disney Plus these days.
Yeah. Because you're not going to find it anywhere else.
You don't. Where are you?
Yeah.
No, I say you definitely won't find it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Disney will be at your door with a lawsuit.
Yeah. If you manage to find it somewhere else, they want to know why.
They'll know. They'll be able to sniff it out. They'll lose a bit of money and come for you. Ah, love Disney.
Yeah.
Love them.
We can just end on that note.
They're like your, horrible racist uncle that you just love because...
Because they're part of the family.
Because you grew up with them.
Yeah.
It's just what he's like.
What's he like? You've been listening to Reely Rated, a movie review podcast.
If you've enjoyed this episode, why not dive into our archives and catch up on the movie reviews you might have missed?
And have your say by sending your own thoughts and questions of the films you've discussed so far to reelyrated@gmail.com.
Until next time, film fans.
Keep it really rated.